Just try to understand um, um, what is um, grammar itself, okay, and how many types of grammar there are. Renan Martin. Yes, there is a Renan Martin and then there is a Ray and Martin. There are like two books. They are almost the same thing. But I wanted the Ray and Martin book, which is an old book, and I believe that it is a better book than Ray and Martin. But I think, oh, you have the PDF. Okay, can you share the PDF, like through screen sharing, and see what book you have? Okay.
Yes, sir. I am sharing my screen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think this is the high school English grammar and composition that I was talking about. Can you um, expand it? We can barely see the contents. Yes. Or you can share it in the group. I can download it and then share my screen. I think that will help, um, you know, put it in large fonts.
Okay, sir.
And while it is being done, I would like to inform you that Rajni ma'am has agreed to continue our classes with the NYU students. That's a very good news. And all of you, whoever participated in the last semester, will also be participating here. And this time they are in intermediate 2, and they would see various movies, which of course will be shared with you. Mm, and we will be talking about those movies, web series. Uh, I I wanted to talk about web series, and I suggested, why don't we talk about Panchayat and Kota Factory. Kota Factory is something that should be relevant to you as students. Okay, so that's something good that has happened. And yeah, so Parvez has shared the PDF, and let me download it. Multicolor edition. Okay, it's getting downloaded. Okay. Mm,
Sir, I have book in regular edition.
is it a PDF?
Not it is a hard copy.
Hmm. But we need to have a shareable edition. But anyway, we have got what we wanted, and I'll just start the screen share. Just a minute. Hmm. So all of you will have this book, and you can read it, read the book from here. And well, no longer present. Who else is presenting? Um, Parvez, are you presenting also?
No, sir. I cancelled.
Okay, but can you?
Okay, sir. I am trying to rejoin. Then it will be okay.
Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
we
sir.
can see it.
Okay, then
Yes,
it's
sir.
okay. Then Parvez, you don't need
Yes,
to, uh, no need to leave and rejoin. Okay, so this is the book that I was talking about. Okay, High School English Grammar and Composition, Ren and Martin, and these are the contents. I hope you can see it in like bigger fonts now. Is it okay? Can you see all the contents?
yes, sir, properly.
Okay. So we need. I was asking all of you that what is grammar? Okay. What is grammar? Who could tell me what is grammar? Other than okay, anybody can um, unmute and start telling me what is grammar.
The rules of English language or any language.
The rules of what?
Of language
The rules of language. I mean, what rules of language?
uh, to make sentences, paragraphs, and things like that.
How to make rules that tell us how to make paragraphs, um,
Like
how to make sentences, paragraphs, and um,
there are some
what else?
steps. Like uh, at first we need to learn about letters,
Hmm.
then letters comes to word, and then the word must have a meaning, and
Hmm.
the meaningful words have to juxtapose one by one and give a bit meaningful thought and
Hmm.
complete the sense which equals to sentence. And then when sentence is saturated or juxtaposed one by one and give a meaningful documents or information about thing, it's a paragraph, and this is all thing, all the matter.
Mm, so you mean to say that say English grammar the is a set of rules that
Yes,
helps us put together words with other words, helping us create sentences, and the same rules help us put together sentences one after another to create paragraphs. Paragraphs are put together to create pages, pages are put together to create sections, books, so on and so forth. But my question remains, what are these rules? What what do we mean when we say the rules? What are these rules?
Sir, it is the function of language.
Grammar is the function of language.
Yes, sir.
What function?
That we can use correctly to make a sentence or make a paragraph.
So you are saying that grammar is a function that gives us that helps us to create correct sentences.
Yes, sir.
And Parvez was saying about words being put together, sentences being put together, paragraphs being put together, but he missed out on this word correct. So the rules that rules of a language that help us to use correct words in correct order, or sentences in correct order, or paragraphs in correct orders according to the rule of the or rules of the language. Okay, so grammar is a set of rules that help us create sentences, basically, because words themselves do not fall under the purview, do not fall under the jurisdiction of um, grammar. Though we have been thinking, we think that words are also grammatical units, but I think words are not grammatical units themselves. But then you can argue that what about parts of speech? Parts of speech are words and they fall under. But this is something that we can avoid arguing whether words are parts of grammar or not. What we can do is we can try to understand what does it mean when we say grammar. So grammar is a set of rules that helps us put words in the right order to create sentences, and to put sentences in the right order to create paragraphs, so on and so forth. Okay, so anybody has a doubt regarding this definition?
Yes, sir. Please repeat.
Okay, so let me try to put it here in the chat so that you can write it from here. Grammar are the sets of rules that okay, so go through the sentence. I think grammar is, it will be, should be grammar is, not are. Okay. Grammar is singular. Grammar is singular. Read it and try to understand it, and maybe even try to make a Bengali version of it so that you can write it in your exercise copy and you can remember it. I mean, of course, Aditi, you might think I am not going to need this definition for anything because I am a nursing student and I will be learning nursing and I don't care about what grammar means. Of course, you don't need to. Uh, but say you get married and you have a kid, and the kid needs to understand grammar from you, what will you say then? So if you remember this, then in Bengali, in the way in which you want to remember it, then I think you can remember it well. So, is there any doubts? Is there any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay. Any because I need to make sure that you understand it really well, like every word of it. This is crucial for us to understand why we are learning grammar. I mean, why do we need to learn grammar? Sets of rules, words in correct orders. So nobody has any doubts? Okay. All right. So let's proceed with the first chapter. And I think
Sir,
I yes.
do you have sir if phonetics call phonology, then what
Hmm.
is grammar called?
Syntax.
Okay.
Another fancy name of grammar is syntax, and grammar is generally considered to be of two types. One is prescriptive and another is descriptive. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between these two, prescriptive and descriptive? Prescriptive and descriptive. You know about these words. Aditi, what can it mean? You are a nursing person, you are kind of a half doctor by now, maybe. So, prescriptive, what does it mean?
Sir, that is given by someone like
Hmm.
mm,
Which word is like similar to this
that is
word?
in prescription.
Prescription, yes. So, what happens in a prescription?
Doctor actually gives that
Hmm.
to write all those treatment and those medicine.
Usually medicines.
Yeah.
And do you observe patients of your doctors to ask, why, doctor, are you giving me this medicine?
Because that is that person that patient's disease condition to he is prescribing.
Yeah, but does the patient ask the doctor that why are you prescribing me
No,
this? Like,
no,
have you ever heard of any patient doing that?
no.
Okay. All of us fall sick, and whatever the doctor scribbles in the name of prescription, we take it to the chemist shop, we take it to the medicine shop, and the medicine person, the chemist person, gives us those medicines, and we happily take the medicines, and we either get well or we do not. um, but we do not ask why this medicine. I mean, these names of these medicines sometimes are very funny. I mean, I find sometimes these names very funny, sometimes these names very serious. I like take this medicine which is called Telma 40. So, does that mean that I am going to tell my mother that she is 40? I mean, she is like not 40, she's like approaching 70. But what does it mean? What happens? Yes, suggestive recommended. Hmm. I won't use the word suggestive. I could use the word recommended. Recommend. RX. RX means you take. Um, I will tell you a funny thing. I think Aditi already knows this. Aditi, do you think doctors are qualified enough to prescribe medicines? Yes, for fever. Dolo. কোথায় ডলবো? But Dolo. Anyway. Aditi, this is a very professional question to you. This question might be asked to you when you go for a like an interview for a big nursing home or hospital or anything.
Yeah, yeah, I think if that doctor is trained or
Trained in
uh,
what?
trained in his job or experienced, then
Okay. So you think that a doctor is qualified to suggest medicines, right?
yes.
Okay. Don't ask this question to your doctors. They will attack you. What about other people here? Deepak and others, what do you think? That the doctor is qualified to prescribe you medicines?
No, sir. I think they are very wrong in the when they write down the medicines names.
Hmm.
There is more than spelling mistake. What
No,
I cannot
spelling.
understand. I
No,
cannot
you.
understand their
No. The question is not
un,
that. We are not discussing the fact whether the doctor has a good handwriting or not, whether he knows the spelling or not, whether he was trained in English language or not. I mean, nobody cares about that. But my question is more fundamental. My question is, are they qualified to suggest medicines? I mean, of course, they should be like they have that degree MBBS and MB and MD and FRCS and whatnot. So, what do you think? They are not qualified with those degrees?
yes, sir. I think they are
They are
qualified.
qualified. Okay. Anyone else has any other ideas about this? I mean, I'm sure that many of us never thought about this. That why should we even think about this? I mean, a doctor is a doctor. He is like he's supposed to give us medicines. I mean, why am I even asking this question? And like a teacher who is supposed to give you the names of books, is the situation same with the doctor? I
Yes, sir. Sir, I
yes.
have. Sir, when the medical representative all
Hmm.
are suggest them the all medicines, the new medicines what have discovered.
Hmm.
Uh, so they know they are the medicines names and etc. How to.
So only because the medical representatives come to them and talk about some medicines which are new in the market, and these medical representatives themselves are not doctors. So why does the doctor agree to use the medicines?
They take some profit in
Hmm.
those medicines company.
Hmm. But how could they judge the merit of the medicines? Yes, as Aditi pointed out, experience matters. Like he has killed a few patients by giving a medicine, but a large number of patients have actually recovered with that medicine. So he decides or she decides that okay, since 5 of them dead and 95 of them have healed, so this medicine must be good for everyone. I mean, 5 people are dead, okay, that's fine, but 95 have healed, so this medicine must work. That is what experience tells us, right? However, my why I said this, why I am discussing this, is that the doctors are not qualified to prescribe us medicines. Even if, like vaccine, what vaccine? Like Covaxin, COVID, are you talking about that, Pooja?
Yes, sir. About medicines.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Uh, that you said that if 5 people died, then 15 people alive. So
Okay, so since less people died and 15 people were cured, so this should be working, right?
yes.
But that is not how a vaccine works. I mean, not how Covaxin or Covishield or other things, Sputnik has been working. That's a different issue. And it's not the doctors who have prescribed this Covishield or Covaxin. We will talk about that later. But a doctor is technically not qualified to prescribe medicines, because even if he is a doctor of medicine, even if he is a doctor of medicine, because what he has learned is to diagnose the problem. Yes, there are some types of them who first diagnose the person, but a doctor should stop at diagnosis. That okay, according to my diagnosis, these are the symptoms. You must be suffering from this disease. Now, he must have a chemist who knows that this chemical works with this symptom, and this person has this kind of a problem, so this medicine should be avoided and this medicine should be given. And as Deepak pointed out, there is some profit motive. Instead of providing us with the names of generic medicines, names of chemicals, what they do is suggest us brands. So Telma 40 is a brand of some company, but what is the chemical inside it, I do not know. And how does it cure my, or how does it keep my high pressure in check, I do not know. Prescriptive grammar is exactly like this. A teacher tells you, say me, I'm your grammar teacher right now. A teacher tells you, okay, you should study this and you should study that and you should do this and you should do that. And what is your problem? Your problem is that you cannot speak English fluently, or you cannot write English correctly, or you need to get a job, and so on and so forth. But am I qualified for this? Like, can I say that you should do this in order to get that? Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so um, so prescriptive grammar is like this doctor thing, telling you do this, do that, but they never tell you why, how, for what. And descriptive grammar tries to tell you this why, how, for what, in what amount, in what way, and so on and so forth. Now, I do not say that I am going to, or even trying to teach you descriptive grammar, because that is going to take a lot of our time, and we will try to learn the rules and try to apply them in sentences. but we will try to be as descriptive as possible. Imagine a doctor telling you, okay, you are coughing like a dog. So let me check your throat and let me check your lungs with a stethoscope. Okay, so there is some mucus, there is some congestion in your throat and in your lungs. So what can be done about this? I think there is a chemical that expels mucus. So he will now refer me to a chemist. The chemist would say, okay, since you have congestion in your camera in the mouth, let me suggest this medicine, and this medicine or this chemical will make you vomit, and when you vomit, the mucus would come out from your lungs. But when you vomit, actually things come out from your belly. But this chemical will make the lungs squeeze, or this chemical will fill the lungs with some kind of a gas or liquid, and then it will come out and you will vomit and you will like throw out the mucus and so on and so forth. But no, I mean, not in this country. But if you go to some western countries, then you could understand that they have a doctor and a chemist. A doctor does not suggest medicines. It is the chemist who suggests the medicines after reading the diagnosis of the doctor. Okay, so we will try to diagnose the problem, and we will try to understand uh, where and how we can solve this. So the first thing that we have here is the sentence. But I was looking for the book where instead of beginning from the sentence, things had actually begun from words. Because can somebody, okay, who else is here in the meeting? Pooja. No, Pooja has left. Uh, Kali, can you tell me what is a sentence? Kali?
Is when words uh, I mean juxtaposed in a correct order and mean thing, we call it a sentence.
So when words are juxtaposed to each other, what else?
In a correct order,
When
and it
words
has
are juxtaposed
a
to each
proper
other
meaning.
in a correct order and it gives a meaning. Okay. Anyone else would like to?
Can I try, sir?
Yes.
Sentence is a group of words
Hmm.
that make complete of sense.
Okay. Which makes a complete sense. So it's a group of words that makes a complete sense, as opposed to as opposed to so you said it's a group of words that makes a complete sense, as opposed to what? Aditi, what is a sentence?
Yes, sir.
What is a sentence?
when some when group of words um, be together and express our feelings meaningful. When a group
Okay.
of words sits together and express our feelings, that is the sentence.
Okay, so should it be meaningful or not?
Yes, sir, it should be.
Okay. Anyone else would like to provide some other definition of sentence or anything else you would like to add to the meaning of the sentence?
Should I say?
Yes, Parvez, try.
Um, so you say it begins from the very word. So
Hmm.
like when some words
Hmm.
juxtapose perfectly one by one and give a meaningful word
Hmm.
and some meaningful words juxtaposed correctly one by one and clear the speaker's mind or give us the meaningful sense,
Hmm.
then it calls a sentence.
As opposed to,
What is mean by that?
like, you're saying that it gives us a sense, okay, it gives us a meaning. As opposed to what? The word or what?
Like if I like a cow is flying in the sky,
Hmm.
cow is flying in the sky,
Hmm.
then the sentence is right according to its structure and grammatical order, but it is incomplete as a meaningful like in kind of sense because a cow never can fly.
Okay. So it's a group of words and it makes sense, grammatical sense. So here actually what we should add is grammatical sense, not any sense.
Sir,
So
what do you mean by oppose?
opposed means in opposition to, in comparison to.
What would be
This
in this sense?
hmm, what?
Would be in this sense about sentence.
Okay, so as opposed to sentence, what other units of grammar do we have? Yes, what other units of grammar do we have as opposed to the sentence? Sentence is one of the biggest units of grammar or bigger units of grammar. What are the lesser or smaller units of grammar?
Word.
Word, phrase, clause. Okay. So now, from now on, whenever you are saying that sentence is a group of words which makes complete grammatical sense as opposed to a word, a phrase, or a clause is called a sentence. That will make the definition more complete, or I would say rotund. Do you know the meaning of this word rotund?
No, sir.
No, sir.
R O
No,
T
sir.
U N D. It means round, roundish. Okay, complete like a sphere. Rotund, roundish. I will try to use as many new words for you to learn. So you learn this word rotund today. Okay. So if we proceed, then it says that kinds of sentences. How many types of sentences there are according to this chapter? Statements or assertions, interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, optative sentences, or exclamatory sentences. Okay. Optative is not mentioned here. So, according to this book, there are four types of sentences. But there is a fifth type of sentence which old grammar books carried. That was the optative sentences, which expressed wish, desire, request. Okay, but they have used requests here in the imperative sentence. But desire or wish is not included in these all of these four groups. So this is a very basic, very small, very simple definition of what is a sentence and what are the various types of sentences, so on and so forth. Okay, any doubts over here in the sentence part?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when I learn about grammar,
Hmm.
I know about there are five type of sentences like which are already mentioned here,
Hmm.
but I know them as like statement,
Hmm.
questions, order,
Hmm.
wish, and exclamation.
Yes.
What they are actually, they are not mentioned here as I can see.
Different names. That's all.
But what is the fifth one? Like,
Optative.
yeah, what does this mean?
Wish. It optative sentence is a sentence where you express a wish or a desire. I wish I were in Switzerland right now.
Okay, sir, I got it.
Okay. Any thing else that is that you find difficult, or that you did not know, or you have doubts about? If not, then we go to chapter 2, that is subject and predicate.
Sir,
Yes. Example of.
example of imperative and auxiliary.
Okay, examples of imperative sentences could be Aditi, unmute yourself. Parvez, bring the book. Pooja, open the windows. Don't open the windows, it is too cold. Um, or Nizam, shut the windows. Any kind of order is an imperative sentence. However, in this book, they are saying that even requests can be included in imperative sentences. Yes, it can be. So I humbly request you, or I request you to unmute yourself. Imperative sentence. Okay, got it, Aditi?
Okay, sir.
So what you can do is, you can write, all of you, as a homework, you can write uh, five imperative sentences, or five optative sentences, five declarative or statements, or five questions, or you can read a book, a storybook maybe, and find which is which is an imperative sentence, which is an exclamatory sentence. Pooja, Deepak, Kali, and Parvez, you can read final solution and find out these sentences. That will be an exercise. Nizam, you can do it with your books, whatever books you have. Aditi, you can read a book from your nursing, and then you can underline, or you can mark which ones are imperative, which ones are exclamatory, and show to each other, not to me, but each other, and see if it is right or not. Okay. Then, any other doubts from any other persons? Anybody else? Okay. So we come to subject and predicate. Um, Deepak, what is a subject?
Sir, the subject is when we ask the verb who is done it,
Who has done it?
who has done it.
Hmm.
The subject.
So can you give an example?
Like the boy are playing. Here the subject is the boy.
The boy,
The boy are playing.
the
The
boy
boys are
are
playing.
playing, the boys are playing.
Boys
Okay.
are
Okay. So what is the subject again here?
the boys. Boys
Yes.
is the subject here.
Why? Why are the boys the subject?
Because sir, here we ask who are playing. Here the question is the boys. So
Okay.
this is the subject.
Okay. So if I say, who are you? Then which will be the subject? Who are you? Yes,
Sir,
Spider-Man. Hmm. Who will be the subject?
no, sir, who are you?
Yes. So which will be the subject?
You, the
Right.
object. Right, sir.
But that's the object then.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Then what will be the subject? Can anybody help him?
Actually, sir, he is right in a different sense, and he is wrong in another sense, in my opinion, because
Hmm.
like according to the structure, that is an
Hmm.
object, but according to the subject and predicate matter, this is
Hmm.
an subject, because as we know, the question's format is a WH word plus operator plus subject plus object or anything,
Hmm.
and in subject or predicate matters, the
Hmm.
subject is like which context is the sentence is.
Hmm.
So Deepak is right when he says you is the subject here.
Yes. Deepak
He
is right. You is the subject here. And this sentence does not have an object. So, what Parvez said makes a lot of sense. Parvez said that um, Parvez talked about context. So, context is something that till now we had not taken into consideration, or we had not taken into consideration much. So, from now onwards, you have to understand what is the context. In this sentence, who are you? You is not doing anything. You is not in the first position of the sentence. Still, Parvez says that as far as subject and predicate is concerned, you is correct. Okay, but
But
hmm,
which is the object in this sentence?
this sentence does not have an object. I mean, sentences can exist without objects. For example, birds fly. Birds fly is a sentence, and yet it does not have any object. I mean, a sentence can have an object or cannot have an object. It depends upon the context.
Sir,
Okay.
what can you say the who?
Hmm?
Mm, what can I
What?
say the who? হুটাকে আমরা কি বলবো স্যার?
Who is a relative pronoun, and it is a WH word, or it's a relative pronoun which is used in an interrogative sentence, but it is not subject, it is rather a part of the predicate. Okay, it's a part of the predicate. So subject and predicate should be understood very clearly. um, so I would request you to, I mean, read this book, okay, but I think we need to have a better book than this, like a book that talks more about these issues more clear than just this, which was there in that old Renan Martin. But let me see if it is here or not. See, these parts, these chapters will be very important for us. Uh, but I do not see words, do not see much about subject and predicate. Okay, we will talk about it later. Um, I will talk about these issues in the next class, and we can continue from there on. Okay. So, do you have any doubts till this point in time?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
My question is, I don't understand uh, what's the difference between descriptive and prescriptive. I mean, what does
Okay.
this two words is? Yes, sir.
Prescriptive is I tell you something, you do it without trying to understand why you are doing it. Say, Kali, if I ask you, go and eat some um, green bananas because it is good for learning English. You will go out and you will buy some green bananas and you will eat them. But if I tell you that uh, you should eat green bananas because first of all you learn about the English of kacha kola, that is green bananas, and now you know that the color green can be used in a very different context to signify something that is not ripe, not experienced. That is descriptive. Prescriptive, I tell you, you do it. Descriptive is I describe, I try to tell you why you should do it. Got it, Kali, this time?
Sir, is this PDF descriptive
Yes, sir.
No,
grammar?
no, no grammar book that we have been reading is descriptive. Yes, Kali.
Yes, sir. I got the.
Hmm. Okay. So the way you teach your students, like Kali, you give tuitions, you tell your students to memorize from this page to that page. You ask your students to memorize what is the definition of sentence, and they memorize it, and that's it. But do they understand it? What is a group of words? How many words make a group of words? These questions are asked in the descriptive grammar. Okay. So let us stop here today. We will meet next week. Yes, Kali.
No, sir. I.
Okay. All right. So let's meet next week, and